Today I'm going to show you guys how much better your drum mix can turn out by mixing in some drum samples. Now let me preface this by saying when I'm doing a mix, I'm always trying to get the best sound possible with just the recorded drums first. I will do everything in my power to make the original recorded drums work in a mix on their own. But sometimes that drum sound needs a little bit of help, especially if the drums weren't recorded very well. Sometimes mixing in some samples can make a massive difference. Also, just to be clear here, I never 100% replace drum samples. I'm not getting rid of their kick and snare sound and putting in my own. I'm blending in samples with the existing drum sound to get the best result I can. So we have this drum session here. Right now we have the kick and the snare samples muted, and we have all the drum processing turned off. So let's hear what these drums sound like with just a fader balance from the existing drum tracks. Now it's not terrible, but it could be better. Now I'm gonna add these samples back in and listen to the difference this makes. One thing to keep in mind here, I did turn up the kick and the snare to match the overall kick and snare level I had when the samples were in there. So now when I add the samples in, I'm gonna put these back to where they were volume-wise. One more thing to note, there are a couple reverbs here. That's because one of these snare samples is just a room sample, and I'm sending that to the reverb. That's actually a very important part of this sound. But we're not hearing that sample on its own. We're only hearing it through the reverbs. Now, one more time without the samples. Turn all the processing back on. Without the samples. Makes a massive difference to the overall drum sound. And I don't know if you noticed, but it also masked a lot of the phase problems that we were having with the cymbal tracks. Now that particular thing won't always be an issue, but it was here, so the samples helped with that as well. But in general, mixing in samples to blend with the existing drum tracks can make a massive difference to the sound.